Hi, Luke here. I'm going to walk you through shadowing. I'm going to do a bit of a demonstration because we do talk about it. I made a video about it at the end of pronunciation mastery, but it was mainly theory. I didn't actually demonstrate it to you. So I want to show you how to use it specifically with content from our course, which you unlock within around phase 4, 5 and beyond. And I also want to give you a demonstration of something that I would personally use as a more advanced user. So I'll do like a screen share on my phone and show you using one of the apps that I like to use currently. So first of all, let's start with a video straight from our course. It's a story that you unlock in phase 5 called The Three Little Pigs, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And the way our stories work currently is that we show you we give you a female voice at 80% speed, then 100% speed, which is native speed. And then we give you a male voice at 80% and then 100% speed. And it's all one video. Now, I'm not necessarily sure exactly how I'm going to do this yet. Whether certainly not going to show you the whole video because this one is about 13 minutes long, this particular one. But I'll walk you through a paragraph, and that's all you really need. And I'll just show you the general concept, what you should be going for. So this is obviously from the desktop version, but I also personally like to be out and about. I like to do a bit of shadowing whilst I'm on the way to do something else, just to squeeze in some extra practice. So I'm on the way to the gym, or I'm walking somewhere, I'm riding my bike, I'm taking a taxi, whatever it is. And I'll have my files ready on my phone and I'll play them whilst I'm traveling. That's just my ideal personal thing that I like to do. But another thing that the Professor Argelis, not necessarily the inventor of this technique, but certainly the one that has, I guess you could say, sung its praises the most. He's done a lot of work around it, and he personally swears by it. And he speaks, I think, around 20 languages now. And he says he likes to walk around with a good posture, and walking with a good posture helps not only breathing, but pronunciation. It keeps your brain clear as well. You've got lots of oxygen going to your brain because you're moving around. It also, another thing is that it gets you used to doing several things at the same time as speaking Chinese, which of course we can do in English. It's a bit harder to do that. It's a bit more of an extra challenge. So you're focusing on walking, making sure you don't get hit by a car and stuff, and also speaking out loud with good pronunciation at the same time. It's just that extra challenge. So when you do it normally, sitting in a nice, comfortable environment, it's actually easier by comparison. So that's very interesting. I don't know if I've tested that. I don't know if I can prove that, but I think it's definitely it's very logical. Makes a lot of sense to me. So anyway, let's jump into it. So this is what we would do first of all. You would make yourself familiar with the script. So maybe go through the script and turn this up a little bit. You read it, understand it. Okay. So I won't talk over it. Check this if there's any brand new words or words that you're not very familiar with. Maybe say them out loud, like 搬出去, say them individually, work through it. Or you can just jump in, but if you do this first, your first attempt will be a little bit better. If you do a bit of warming up, check that there's no really alien words to you. Just go through the whole thing. I'm not going to do that right now, but generally you should do that. It's a good idea to start off with. And then just start shadowing.
以前有3只小猪和猪爸爸、猪妈妈生活在一起。慢慢的，他们长大了，是时候搬出去自己住了。每个人都要自己修房子，自己住。猪大哥买了很多草。
So, whilst you're doing this, you're trying to your first attempt. Even me, I won't be able to necessarily keep up with exactly the voice, but your aim eventually should be to say the whole thing alongside the person. At pretty much the same time, maybe with a slight lag, and you want to try and imitate their voice as closely as you can.
他想修一个草房，因为他觉得草房修起来最简单。
So work your way through that, and if you think you can, and once you think you're ready, maybe it's up to you. Maybe you want to just go straight to the native speed and try it out. But if you're struggling with 80%, that's probably not the best idea right now. Just keep going with the 80% speed. With the downloads that come with this lesson, you have the individual files for 80% native speed as well. So you can just focus on the 80% one, the audio file, have that in your phone or whatever player you use, and just focus on that until you can shadow it comfortably. Not perfectly, just fairly comfortably, without too many mistakes or stopping. Speaking of mistakes, you're going to make them. As you'll see, I'll make them too. And if you make them, don't pause the whole thing and go back. Treat it like we try and encourage you to read. You know, you don't have to understand and get everything perfect. So maybe I might mess up on that, and I might miss this bit. I'll just join in when I can, just like a jump rope. You know, like you missed. Okay, okay, now I'll jump in and just keep going. So I think personally the most important thing is just keep the rhythm going, keep the momentum, and then you can remember you're supposed to be doing this many times. 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 times. You know, and the more you do it, the better. Focusing on a small passage, moving a couple of sentences is just great for you. With every repetition, you'll find that you're not only repeating it better, but you're acquiring the words and the grammar and everything about this sentence subconsciously every single time as well. So the more, the better. So then once you've done that, once you think you're ready, go ahead and move on to 98% comprehension. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, not 98%. Yeah, native speed. Sorry, I'm confusing myself.
很久以前，有3只小猪和猪爸爸、猪妈妈生活在一起。慢慢的，他们长大了，是时候搬出去自己住了。每个人都要自己修房子，自己住。猪大哥买了很多草，他想修一个草房，因为他觉得草房修起来最简单。
So the cool thing about this, because you're reading and speaking at the same time, if you find that because one of you're listening or reading, there's always going to be one's going to be better than the other, at least at some stage, right? So if you say your listening's not as strong, but your reading's better, your reading will push your listening along. You know, so if I find that I'm losing the listening a bit, my reading, I'll focus more on the characters that lay ahead, and I can, and vice versa. You know, if I find that my reading's a bit slow, my listening will push my reading along, and it's a very synergistic thing.
2天以后，他的草房就修好了。猪大哥很高兴，热情地请2个弟弟和父母来看新房子。猪妈妈担心地说：“现在天气很好，住草房当然没问题。可是如果下雨，那怎么办呢？”猪大哥说
You notice that 那怎么办呢? I'm actually imitating the exact way she said it. So she actually said, she didn't say 那怎么办呢? She said 那怎么办呢? So I'm trying to literally 100% 模仿, like 100% imitate what's being said. You know, don't worry if it's a girl and you're a guy. It's not too big a deal. There's not like a massive difference, especially with the way that we've instructed them to record these as well. So that's fine.
说不要担心太多，等下雨了以后。
Okay, so then once you've done it one time, depending on how much time and energy you have, just go back and do it again. Repeat it as many times as you can.
很久以前，有3只小猪和猪爸爸、猪妈妈生活在一起。慢慢的，他们长大了，是时候搬出去自己住了。每个人都要自己修房子，自己住。猪大哥买了很多草，他想修一个草房，因为他觉得在一起。慢慢的
Next time maybe I won't mess it up, and it'll just get better and better and better. So that's generally how that's done. Now what I'll do is just pause the video a sec, and I'll open up my own personal app, which I recommend, and we'll try that out. So this is an app that Phil and I both used for a couple of years. It's called 得到, which means to obtain in Chinese. It's made for Chinese people. So unless you've at least finished our intermediate course, you probably won't be quite ready for this, but this is what I personally like to use to shadow on a daily basis. So it has all sorts of different things. It has just pure ebooks, which have like an AI function where it reads out loud, and it's pretty good. It's not too robotic to the point where it's off-putting. It's actually okay. But what I mainly use is the 听书 bit, where they take a whole book and they sort of they take the important points of the book, similar to something like Blinkist, except it's like half an hour instead of 5 minutes. So it squeezes all the pertinent information from this book into a lovely 25-minute, 30-minute little audio session. So, and it comes with a 文稿, which means transcript rather. So this is just the one that I listened to the other day. 迷人的液体, so the fascinating liquids, mystical liquids or whatever. So I would just literally, I'd click on 文稿 on the right here, and I would open up the 文稿, the transcript, and hit play. Right, so the speed this woman's speaking is so fast for me, because she's a professional broadcaster, and this is designed for efficiency. So it's designed to read as fast as possible. And I just, it would be so difficult for me to do that. It would take me like 20 times. It would just be frustrating. So what I'm going to do is click on the options just to slow that down to, thank goodness there's an option to slow it down to 0.7, so 70%. Let's try again.
说起液体，我们实在是太熟悉了。生活中最常见的液体就是水。我们知道很多关于水的知识，比如地球上的生命起源于海洋，而海洋占了地球表面的71%，人体中的70%是水。人可以几天不吃饭，但不可以一天不喝水。
So again, you see there, I'm just imitating 一天不喝水. She's like putting that tone on just to make the reading more interesting, because she's a professional. So I'm not going to try and read faster than her just to get ahead. I'm going to copy exactly what she's saying, exactly how she's saying it. 总会在第一时间想到水。不过这样一来，液体作为一个整体，就少了很多的神秘感。比如你可能会问，这本书叫《迷人的液体》，可是液体能有啥迷人之处呢？你别说。And if I was getting bored of this, I might try my luck at the full speed, but let's see how that goes.
生活中最常见的液体就是水。我们知道很多关于水的知识，比如地球上的生命起源于海洋，而海洋占了地球表面积的71%，人体中的70%是水。人可以几天不吃饭，但不可以一天不喝水。正因为水太重要也太常见，每当在第一时间就想到。I'm losing it at this point. 不过这样一来，液体作为一个整体，就少了很多的神秘感。比如你可能会问，这本书叫《迷人的液体》，可是液体So I missed that as well, so it's no problem. Just keep going. 基于气体和固体之间的特殊位置，液体还真有很多迷人的特性。气体的分子自由相距很远，性格上捉摸不定。固体的分子整齐有序，形状稳定。又有些死板。而液体介于两者之间，它的分子整体密度比气体要大得多，所以看得见也摸得着。同时，液体的分子可以自由流动，没有固体那么死板，所以能任意改变自身的形状。除此之外，液体还有很多奇特的性状。So what I would do, I might not read this whole thing because it's like, obviously I'm not going to read it in this video, but if I was by myself even, 25 minutes is a long time to do this. So what I might do is read a couple of paragraphs of it, like I just did then, and then go back and do those same 2 paragraphs again, and then maybe again, and maybe again, and that's it. And make sure I get those 2 paragraphs down, and then next time maybe try and work my way through a bit more of the audio and stuff like that. So as you can see, I made mistakes too, but it's my first time, second time reading it. I guarantee if I did this 5 times, then each time will be better, and on the 5th time, I'll probably be able to keep up with her pretty well. So that's basically the gist. That's the habit that I want you guys to start developing and using with our materials, of course, but
there's all sorts of materials you can get access to with both audio and text at the same time. That's ideal, but of course at least audio. I would sometimes do this with just an audio book is fine as well, just a radio app, anything is fine. And you'll find that sometimes you'll get into just a flow state and you'll be able to do really well. If you just try and ignore the distractions, it's kind of hard because I'm sort of recording myself. If you can just try and get into the content and really engage with what you're actually reading, you'll find yourself sort of get lost in it. And once you get in that flow state, that's the best. That's where you see the most results. So what I might do now, just to put my money where my mouth is, I might go through this myself just a couple of times, and then you can hear the recording afterwards. I'm not going to make you listen to me do it 5 times, but I'll do it 5 times off camera, and on the 5th time I'll show you again. Okay, here we go. Right, so I've just done it 4 times, just the first 2 paragraphs here. And I got to say, I forgot to remind you, if you're going to do this, make sure you have a bottle of water. On my 3rd try, it was very difficult because you've got to keep the lubrication in your mouth going, but otherwise you won't be able to hit all the pronunciations. So, let's try again. And we'll see if we can hear any difference. All right, so let's do it. 说起液体，我们实在是太熟悉了。生活中最常见的液体都是水。我们知道很多关于水的知识，比如地球上的生命起源于海洋，而海洋占了地球表面积的71%。人体中的70%是水。人可以几天不吃饭，但不可以1天不喝水。正因为水太重要也太常见，每当我们提起液体，总会在第一时间想到水。不过这样一来，液体作为一个整体就少了很多神秘感。比如你可能会问，这本书叫《迷人之液体》，可是液体能有啥迷人之处呢？你别说，气体和固体之间的特性，液体还真有很多迷人的特性。气体的分子自由散漫，相距很远，性格上捉摸不定。固体的分子整齐有序，形状稳定，但性格上有一些死板。而液体介于两者之间，它有分子位置紧凑。所以看得见也摸得着，同时液体的分子可以自由流动，没有固体那么死板，所以能任意改变自身的形状。Wow, okay. So, still tough, still mistakes, but as you can see, 4 or 5 times that it's just 4 or 5 times better, really. So you got to keep consistency. And don't be afraid of repeating it, because it just gets really satisfying, because you notice that improvement every time. So, okay, guys, go ahead and try that out. If you have any questions or you want to clarify anything about this, or if I missed anything, you can always just leave a comment under the video or get in touch at contact@mandarinblueprint.com. Hang on, before I go, this is very professional, isn't it? Another little quick tip before I finish this video, which is, you notice that I've had one earphone in this whole time. I'm only listening to one ear. I found that to be really important. So, because I like to be able to hear my own voice. So at the same time, if I have both covered, especially if I have those sort of noise cancelling earphones, all I can hear is their voice. I can't hear my own voice, and I can't grade it to see how it sounds. So that has been quite an important point for me. So just make sure that you try that out. Try it with both. Try it with 2 earphones and try it with 1 and see which one you prefer. I personally really like it with just 1 earphone. So that was, sorry I missed that bit out. But like I said, guys, anything you need, anything that you want me to give further explanation to, just email us or leave a comment. Hope that was helpful, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.